Hi everybody. It's a windy day and I wanted to get the wire and insulators on my post that we put out the other day so that I could turn the colts out into their new pasture. So that's what I'm working on right now. I have to do it alone today. I don't have any girls to help me, but we'll get it done. So here I am bringing the wire over to start with. I found an old spool of wire and it's partially broken on one side, but I found a fiberglass fence post and I thought I could slide that through the hole, but it was a little bit tight, so it didn't really go. That's why it's sticking out so far on one side, but we'll make it work. So there was times I was able to unroll it, which is the best way to go, but because the one side is broke, I ended up having some plug ups and I had to just untangle it and get it out of there, but we got that done eventually. So now I'm just going back and putting the insulators in. With it being so windy today, I'm keeping a very close eye on the horses because sometimes windy weather affects animals. But these guys are good. I'm not too concerned, but I don't get too far from them. The colts have been working super today. This is their third time hitched to the sled, and they did not fight the rope at all. They've just walked along pretty well perfectly. This is a great way to teach these colts. They get to learn how to lead better and learn how to just get used to all the noises and everything, and even get to learn how to graze while tied. Buck and Ken worked hard yesterday, so I knew they'd be a little tired today, which is good. I wanted them tired to do this job anyways, but Buck spread, I think, 4 loads of manure with Bill yesterday, and then Ken plowed all afternoon with Lady and Bill. I'm really happy the way this is working out with the colts and the sled, but there are a couple things you really have to watch when you're doing it this way. Right now I noticed as I was about ready to drive the horses ahead that Duke's foot was over the rope. The rope was a little bit longer than I would really like to have it, but it actually gives them a little bit room to graze while they're resting so much. And so I had to get his foot situated correctly, and I got to make sure that the rope isn't tangled up at all before I go ahead. And what I do when I go ahead is I'll say their names, holler back to their names, and then I'll tell the horses to step kind of loud so that the colts can hear me every time, so they get used to those commands. You can really see Duke's mane flying with the wind today, and if you look closer you'll see I have 2 rubber bands in his mane. If I have manes on my horses, I want them all to go on one side, and with Duke he had a bunch of hair on his mane that would kind of flop over to the other side, so I've just tied him kind of in a ponytail on the one side, and it will help hold that over there, and that'll stay there for quite some time so that the hair stays on the one side. A lot of times I'll roach my horse's manes, and maybe down the road I will with these guys, but for now I want to keep the mane on, so I want a nice mane. I want it just all on one side. So I'll keep working with that. Earl's mane is pretty good. It stays on one side, but Duke needs a little help. But I think the rubber bands and the ponytail is going to do it. So here we are at the end of the fence row, and I'm just putting on the last insulators. I forgot though to bring my gate hook. I have it, the wire goes to the other end of this fence where I started, and it's not connected to the fence there. And on this end I will connect it to the hot wire with the gate hook, but I forgot the gate hook. So now I'm going to have to drive all the way back to the barn and get the gate hook, which is not a problem. It just gives the colts a little bit more practice, and then we'll get the gate hook onto the gate, and I'm going to drive the horses right back into the pasture and turn them around, and then I will unhitch the colts from the sled to let them stay in the pasture for a while. So here I'm back. I'm in the pasture now with the horses. Got the gate hook, got that put on, and now I'm ready to let the colts loose. So I take their halters off them so that they can have a couple hours out in the pasture for tonight. And I was a little bit concerned that they would start walking after the horses after when I asked the horses to go, so I kind of turned them around and pushed them away from the sled a little bit just to make sure they realize that they're free to go. So the colts will probably be spending a lot of time out in this pasture this summer. The cows might go in there some too, but and the other horses will have their turn out there also. Later on this evening, Brenda and I went out and led the colts back into the barn, and they just led so nicely with this extra practice they've had on the sled. So now that the colts are out in their pasture, let's go back to yesterday, and I let my young stock, the cattle, outside to go out into their pasture so they can have some time on some green grass. Animals are funny. I'm opening up the gate to let the cows out that have been in here all winter long, and it's amazing how long it took to get them out of that gate. They just seemed content, I guess, staying right inside even though they wanted to go out, and when they went out they ran and played and enjoyed it. But it did take a while to get them out of the barn. I'm a little bit embarrassed. I have some dirty cows. I have two pens that these cows are in, and one of the pens I'm able to clean several times during the winter time, so that stays fairly good. But this pen on this side, it's something new, and I haven't quite figured out a good way to clean it yet, so it's pretty dirty, and the cows are pretty dirty because of it. But give them a week or two out in the sunshine and the green grass, that dirt will come right off and they'll clean right up nice. I had one steer that was really hard to get it out of that pan, but I finally got him out. So here I'm opening up the gate. The cows have been on the other side of the barnyard, and then the young stock got put into the barnyard, but now I want to put them all outside. But when I open the gate, the cows thought that they want to come into the barnyard. So that's actually what they did. After a short while, I was able to push the whole herd out of the barnyard, out into the pasture. So now the cows, last year's calves, and their newborn calves are all together. The other day, I was able to get the bull separated from the cows and brought him inside in one of my pens. And now, after I get my pen cleaned, I can put the bull into that pen. So this is the pen I cleaned out. This used to be the old milking parlor actually, but we filled in the pit, cemented it over. So now this makes a great pen for my cattle during the winter time and for other things throughout the year, however I need to use it. So I'm just putting some sawdust around, and then I'll let the bull in. I don't want my cows bred back until at least the middle of July, so that's why the bull has to stay inside away from them. Our pastor from our church has a few cows of his own, and so he needs to get them bred, so we're going to take this bull over to his place for a couple months so he can get his cows bred, and then we'll bring them back here for the time when I want them. But he'll spend some time in here. This is a good place for him. Brenda got home from work and was willing to ride up with me so I could take some hay up to put for the cows. Even though there is some green grass, it's still April, and there's not really enough grass to keep them fed, so I still will keep hay in the pasture for them so they can have free choice there. I still have some round bales left over to put up there, but it's pretty high quality stuff, so today I decided to just take up some square bales and put in the round bale feeder.
Yikes, I thought they were going to run right into the fence. I'm getting off. Whoa! That's how accidents happen. Look out, Kenny, for the fence.
It was a little wet down where the round bale feeder was, so I wanted to bring them up where it's drier.
Sorry.
I hate the thought of it, but we've got a small snowstorm in the forecast, so having this extra hay out here will be good for the cows in case it does snow and they won't have the grass so easy to get to. I had thrown 10 bales on the sled, and when I put them in the round bale feeder I never did count them, but it turns out there was only 9. We had lost one on the road. I didn't even realize it.
Oh, we got a bale. I didn't even know it came off.
Yep, we lost that bale and neither one of us even knew it. Oh well. 9 bales enough for the cows anyways. So I guess this is it for our video for today. You guys have a great day.